Imagine having someone who looks like you, shares your birthday, and even finishes your sentences. We hear a lot about sibling bonds, but what happens when these bonds are amplified? When it's not just shared experiences, but shared identities. I am a twin. That usually comes with an ooh and ah. Oh, yeah, are you serious? Please pray for me. I want twins too. But it's okay. I'll accept it today. Even though people say that, oh, you and your brother look alike, I don't see it. My brother and I are very different in many ways. My brother loves to read, diving into different worlds in every page. In me, I prefer to draw. I prefer to bring those same worlds into reality, but through my sketches. Even with all our differences, we are constantly seen as one unit. The only thing differentiating us and conjoined twins is that while they are joined by anatomy, we are joined by the society. But in reality, yes, we are twins. Yes, we share a strong bond, but we are still individuals. The challenge, though, is proving that to the world, and in some cases, ourselves. Growing up, it was so difficult and so hard to break free from being just the other half of a pair, from being just half a human. We were constantly compared in academics, sports, or even in just the way we looked. Okay, why are you fatter than your brother? Auntie, I don't know. Maybe because I am me and he is him. People would often ask, which one is smarter? Which one is better? Who do people love more? And then stare at my parents and us, expectantly. And there I was, struggling to define myself outside of him. In result, I spent a lot of my time trying to distinguish myself from my brother. What did I not do? I got into public speaking. I got more vocal on my love for art. I even topped my class once. But when you're constantly grouped together as one, it's hard to get recognized for your own uniqueness. At times, it felt like my whole personality got swallowed up in this collective identity of the twins, Ejima, Ibeji. The pressure of always being together made it hard for me to recognize leader in myself. I felt as though my ambitions were being shaped by a race that I couldn't control. But something changed, or rather, I changed. I learned to stop competing and comparing. I learned to realize that my journey, my life was mine alone to navigate. And that true self-awareness comes from being comfortable with who you are. I stopped focusing on what made us a pair and began to focus on what made me distinct, what made me me, and what made me a leader. With this renewed, powerful mindset, I found myself emerging into various leadership positions, president of this, president of that. I'd be more specific, but I didn't come here to brag, actually, sorry. I didn't step into these roles because I wanted to separate myself from my brother. I stepped up because I finally understood. Leadership is about using your unique strengths to make an impact. And being a twin was not a limitation, was never a limitation to any of this. At the end of the day, being an individual is about accepting who you truly are. It's about rejecting the pressures to fit into someone else's expectations and instead setting your own path. I'm not just someone else's twin. For goodness sake, I am me.